start today with Boris. We are going to talk about the metrics for good developers. And we know that this subject is controversial because when we are talking with developers about metrics, everyone says, no metrics, please. It's always to blame. So today we are going to give you another view about this subject. So I come from Paris. My company is Arona company. Our aim in Arona is to raise the bar about the software development. So we like everything ended with TDD, EDD, everything related to HR.
Yeah, I'm from Paris too, and I'm working on this company, Houssam, which is a software provider for finance market, and more specifically on the portfolio analytics. So it's a very small market, but with a lot of things to do in it. So basically, what we do is we take a huge amount of data from our clients and provide meanings. So one of the characteristics of our company is we are agile from now 10 years, I don't know, to remember, and we do extreme programming from the beginning. So we do full pair programming, we do testing, unit testing, functional testing, and so on. And we are a quite major software factory.
And you are talking about that because it's very important. Like when you are developing at our project, when you talk about full pair programming, it means that I don't have my own computer when I arrive in the morning. I always share my computer with another person in my team. I don't need to ask questions about doing TDD or tests. The quality is we don't negotiate quality in our project. So it's a little bit different from other projects I worked on. And that is why when you are just focusing on the business, you start asking different questions about how I can improve myself. And it's very important to keep the context of our project in your mind because the relationship with the management is more a healthy relationship, I would say. Well, okay, the setup, the technical setup. We don't have a chance this year. So today, why you are talking about metrics? As I said, when we start talking about metrics, every developer is afraid about this subject. But if we can look at other crafts communities, we will just notice that everyone uses metrics, and the use of metrics is the basics of their excellence. Let's talk about sport, for example. When you are a sprinter, every time you are going to the training, you will make attention to measure your time. You can talk about the medicine. For example, a doctor is going to do his work, he needs some measurements, some metrics. The blood pressure, for example, the temperature, he can ask for some analysis in the laboratory. But in the development, we don't have that. And one of the aim of our talk today is to bring this topic about talking about the metrics. So let's make it clear, when we are talking about the metrics, for us, metrics are for the teams, are not for the managers. You can share with the manager your metrics, but the choice of the metrics you are going to use is the responsibility of the teams.
Yeah, and it's a support to achieve the goals. Okay, it's really tools, not
for me, the main goal of the main aim for using metrics is to avoid speculation about our works. Okay, I don't like, for example, when I'm working, some phrases like "I feel it's good." I feel it's good. It's something not scientific, and we need to talk about this metrics. So
maybe another way to explain that we all know that software development sometimes it's art because we need feelings, we need to express something, but sometimes also it has to be software engineering. And engineering without metrics, maybe we miss something.
We can, for example, talk about an example, the quality in your code. If, for example, you have to define the quality. What is the definition of the quality for a developer? So, for us, I find this trick about the subject, and it's about the number of the defects of bugs on your project. So, if you need to, or if you are interested in having a high quality, you have to raise your standard. So you say, okay, for me, bugs are unacceptable. And if you say that, it means that every time you find one bug, you have a problem, and you have to find a solution for this problem. If you can say, okay, the bugs are unavoidable, and anyway, when I am working, when I am developing, I will have some bugs, so you will find always a bug in your code. So it depends on you, on the way you understand the quality. If you are talking about the quality, you have to be very precise about what you expect talking about. So let's have some concrete examples because it will be more dynamic. Don't hesitate to, if you have any questions and comment about this message, don't hesitate to talk about that. But before, maybe we have to start with the story why we start metrics in our course.
Because now 2 years ago, we don't have any metrics, we don't have any metrics. So why say, okay, we need metrics now? Because 1.5 years now, at the end of 2014, we faced several issues, insertion issue, very, very basic issue. Because as I said, we built calculation engine, so this calculation engine is installed in the client infrastructure. So, okay, we produce the release, and the release is sent to the client, and the client installs it. So, in maybe 2 or 3 months, we have 3 upgrade failures, which is very unacceptable. And during this analysis, we observed something that the clients were more and more disappointed by the quality of the product. So we faced a very serious situation for our company because the client was dissatisfied more and more. We had quality issues. And it was a shock because we were extra programming. We use unit testing. We have in our DNA the quality. It's very central in our company. So it was very disturbing.
Yeah, and amazing thing maybe that it wasn't shared by developers. It means that me as a developer, when the manager come and say, okay.
Could you speak up? It's very, very quiet.
Okay, so
Sorry.
So when thank you very much. So when the manager come and say to us that the quality, that the client are not happy with the quality, this observation wasn't shared with me as a developer. So to just find a solution to share that, we try to find.
And maybe just a few words. In front of this situation, we have two paths. The first one is to, okay, we add cash on the table, we set up the AQ teams, and you have a curtain, you push it behind that, and it's okay. Or the other path, which is more tough, we say, okay, we have something which is wrong in our process, which is wrong with our practice, so we have to find solutions. So this is the way we choose. And to be able to find solutions, we have to determine where we stand, what is the problem. So we build some measures, some metrics, just to have a vision of what is going on.
Yes, and we start with the number of defects of our product. So when we are delivering something, we just measure the number of defects or bugs raised by our clients and raised by other developers, the testers, the functional guys, and we find, not we find, but maybe I have just to explain to you a little bit here, this graph. So here we have the iteration. In our project, every iteration, the duration of every iteration is about six months. And here we have the number of defects. Here was the target to have in our stock like 40 bugs, and we start with something around 80. 100. 80, it means when we start with that.
That was the first target.
Yeah. Anyway, this graph is just to show to you the measurement we did on our project. And when we had that, we tried to just observe the evolution of that. So this point is 0. What I have just to say that you find bugs sometimes, you are fixing bugs, but clients will continue to use your software. And when they are using the software, they can find new bugs. So the stock of bugs is always increasing. And here, when you have some graphs above the green line, it means that the speed of fixing bugs is lower than the discovery of new ones. This part of the graph was before starting using metrics. It means that we don't observe this period before starting using metrics. And here we can observe that the variation of the graph is the same. And starting from here, from this line, we find that the situation is better because we are more resolving bugs, and starting from that, we are more fixing than the discovery of new bugs.
And one thing which is important, before starting using metrics, we didn't see that. It was hidden into day-to-day life, so it was very hidden. Starting analyzing this metrics. So the real metrics was the previous one, because it was the metrics driven by the teams, and every time there is more bugs in the stocks than the day before, we start thinking, okay, what's going on? Why we can't fix bugs quickly, and so on. And as you can see, we have several points in our graph. And the first one was saying, okay, we have a very big issue, so we are focusing on one client, and we are testing our product with just in mind these clients. And so we start for 2 weeks, maybe, all the things. We use the application with the client data and start finding bugs. And we find a lot of hidden bugs. It's the first peak in the graph. Starting that, we followed the metrics day-to-day, not day-to-day basis, weekly basis. And every time we found a dysfunctional process, we set up a PDCA. So I hope you know the term, that's solving problems. So we try to analyze the problem and try to fix it into our software factory. And as you can see, it was very, very, very efficient. We were very, very surprised. In fact, this graph has been built just to realize that we have succeeded, and it was a real success, because we were so surprised to have such results that we have to face the success.
Maybe some people can say, okay, it's Houssam effect in the way that you are focusing on that and you are solving this problem. And you are solving this problem. But the idea here is just to, for me, when, for example, I'm developing something and I have zero bugs or 0 defects, it is my aim. Because if the client is happy, if the client is happy with the quality, if the client is using the system and he is not raising some bugs, that is the aim of every developer. okay, our main aim is to resolve the problem of the user, but one of the main problems of the user is to have software working well. So it's very important when you are talking with metrics, it's just to make it visible on your board. So if you have a problem, you have to make it visible. It depends on every client. Now, we are just talking about our solution, but the main is to find your proper solutions depending on the context of your project. And we work on another topic, it's the deliveries, because when we are installing the deliveries, we want no bugs about that. And the same, we release that sometimes some clients are asking for delivery. So when they're asking for delivery, we are working on that, we are spending time on that, and finally the delivery is cancelled. So it was an information we didn't have before starting the measurement, and it was really good. Starting to find this kind of metrics, sometimes you can have some surprise, and you have to put some energy on that just to go on. So maybe we can summarize the upside for the team when we start about our way to find some delivery. So the defects are reduced by a factor of 3. For the delivery, we have just only one failure delivery in 2015, and for this year, for the moment, we don't have a failure. So let's wait at the end of the year. And here, we are not speculating about the quality of the team. Here, we have some measurement. And if it doesn't mean that we are not talking about our final users to see if they are happy or not. But just it means that for the moment, for the quality, we have our metrics. So we talked before about the metrics for the team, and now we will more focus on the metrics for developer as an individual in the team.
And something which is very important to me is, it's, as I said, 1 year and a half, we have no metrics. We start using metrics at company level, team level, and we have tremendous results. So the question is, why, when we don't have any metrics? Of course, there's plenty of metrics, but we don't use it. Maybe it's not a good one, maybe it's just a matter of habits, but there is something that we are missing as developers.
Yep, of course. So, talking about the metrics for developers, I have maybe before to ask you if you have any question, don't hesitate to use this one. To ask that question, we will reply on that after. So for metrics for developers, for me, the main idea is we have to strive to improve yourself. So every time we want to improve ourselves, every time we miss something. And to strive to improve yourself as a developer, you need to make a plan, because improvement don't happen alone. If, for example, you are developing every day, and you are not fixing some goals to improve yourself, it doesn't work. You know, if you are running, for example, if you have a race of 10 kilometers, and you say, okay, my aim is to make this race on specified time, and you are just at the home and you are training, you will not have a good result. So to make a plan, you have to look for skills. What are the skills for good developers? Skills for good developers will depend on the purpose of software development. So you have to know your skills, the skills you need, and once you have these skills, development, you have to train, and training is very important. So for the moment, I have a question for you. Who do training in development? Yes, that's good. I imagine that you use Kata mostly. It's about Kata. You are developing Kata when you are developing. I would like to know if you have some measurement about your training. Who uses some measurement in training when you are developing? One person? Just one person. 2 persons. By measurement, I say, okay, let's talk about gilded rose Kata. If, for example, I need to improve myself, and if I need to train, I can develop this kata, but I need to know what is the duration, the exact duration to finish the kata. If you don't have this duration, you can't know if I am progressing or not. And it's very important to know. If, for example, you have some legs on, I don't know, the use, for example, of your EDE, you are not using the shortcuts. If you don't use the shortcuts, you will be slower than if you will use the shortcuts. It's just a point of view, but you can have another point of view. So the measurement is very important. And when you are trying to improve yourself, you have to know the skills, you have to know the metrics, and you have to train and to measure, to just notice that you are progressing. And for me, it's very important. And just doing development like kata, it's not enough for me. Because if I just make the parallel with the sports, in the sports, if you have a race of 10 kilometers and you do run every day a 10 kilometer distance, you will not improve your the whole duration. But if you can, for example, do some intervals training, you will see that your skills will be improved. And that is scientific. But for the moment, in the development part, we don't use this approach. And it's a little bit sad because on other fields, they are using these metrics and they are using the reaction of our body as human, and it works. So in the development, if we don't have measure, I say, okay, every night I will go and I will attend this conference, I will go to a meetup, I will find, I will work, I will develop kata, but for me it's not enough. You have to develop, you have some time to challenge yourself. Kata is not enough, but it's very good, it's a very good start. You have, for example, to have a look on all the challenge programming platforms like Coding Game or something like that. And for me, if you have measurement, you will notice that you are progressing. And gilded rows like Kata or another talks are very important, and you have to repeat that. I mean, today I will develop kata, and then after 2 months I will develop another kata. The product development this morning was a very good exercise for that, because it's something unexpected, and it's very interesting to see how you can develop. If, for example, you join the team, and I will join the team tomorrow maybe, or today, so you have to learn about yourself, how you react about the unexpected. And it's very important to have this on your mind. So maybe I need to talk about this work, and for me this work is very good. It's at Socrates Canaries. So if you don't know about Socrates, you have to look about this kind of conference because it's very important. And about Socrates Canaries, Pedro from Codurance start a very good work talking about skills for developer, like for example mastering TDD, like mastering object calisthenics, or the 4 elements of simple design. And for each skill, he talk about a kata. And this kind of work is very rare in our industry. And we need some kind of this work to say, okay, I need these skills. For example, talking with the functional guys in your team, it's a skill. In our team, one skill is to know how to pair. Tomorrow I am talking about this topic, and you will say that if, for example, you are working in a team when you have to pair all the time, you need additional skills than other developers. So it's very important for me to have this kind of work up. And maybe we can talk about this work on our team.
Yeah, as we said, we try to improve ourselves. As a developers, I want to be a better developers. But which skills do I need? As Houssam said, in some situations we need specific skills. For example, full-time pair programming teams needs to have specific skills to handle these situations. So we try to define all the skills we need for our project. Because what strive the improvement is of course the project, and the project has specificity. So we try to define, which is the components, all the skills we think it's important to us to achieve better projects. So we need better developers. So every developers have a rating. For the moment, the rating is quite at the field. So we are not in the matrix fully, but we try to make this a little bit
precise or accurate.
Precise or accurate, yeah.
anyway, it's a work in progress.
Yeah, it's a work in progress, and it's just a tool. So it's just for us to have a good knowledge of where we stand.
And our goal is not to have copy paste of everyone in the team, because we believe that in the team we need to have different skills. So in your team, try to make the most of the skills of other persons. For example, when I'm working with functional guys in my team, because in our team, developer and functional guys are in the same team, I look with importance their ability to work with Excel files, for example. I'm really impressed every time, because I don't know to use the skills efficiently, and when I'm looking at guys, I'm really impressed. Now we are trying to define some kind of quiz to understand the functional domain of our project. As I said, it's still a work in progress, but
in a few words, it's very new for us. It's an idea which comes from MOOC. So when you, I don't know if you know Coursera, but it's a course online, so you have to follow some videos, and at some point you have to fill a quiz, just to test that we have understood the previous video. So we think that this process is quite good, in fact, because you have two aspects. The first one, you have to build the quiz, so the questions and the answer. So it's a way to put your knowledge somewhere. The second aspect is to test us. So maybe sometimes we will be good at skill A, for example, and a few weeks later the skill A will decrease because we lost the skills. So we can follow our training process.
Yes, sir. Of course, it's very interesting, this idea, because, for example, your skills are not something constant in the time. Today, if I go in a vacation and I will be later 2 or 3 weeks after, I will lose some skills. And if I'm working on Java, for example, this year and second year I'm working on Scala, so my skills will change. And in the mind of developers, we are talking all the time about good developers and bad developers, but this notion has no meaning for me.
Yeah, and for example, so when you have a big project, and we have very big projects, you have tons of skills that you need to have, but it's nearly impossible because you have to have knowledge on the functional side. The finance is quite huge. You have to know every aspect of the software, which is huge. So it's a way also to prepare for the next release. So you know you have to be an expert for example, equity attributions. So you have to train if you are not at a good level to handle correctly the implementation of the story.
And maybe message of our talk is to define your own metrics, because it depends on every project. You have at the beginning to start analyzing your project, try to define your own metrics with all the developers and try to have high standard to have high quality work.
Yeah, and maybe just one thing, metrics can be fun. It's a kind of gamification of your work. It's like football. If you don't have scores, football is fun, but yeah, you do something. If you add scores, it's beginning to be fun, more fun.
Exactly. Sometimes when, for example, I'm playing with my colleague, I can, like, for 20 minutes say, okay, for this work, I have to finish in 10 minutes. And when I'm working on that, just having in my mind that I have to finish in 10 minutes, it changes the way I'm developing. So sometimes it could be fun, and you have to look for the fun part of that. And you have to sort of define your own metric, and you have to choose simple metrics, because if you need, for example, 2 days to have one metric, it doesn't make sense. So choose always simple metrics. I think that the number of the defects on your code is something very good, but you have to check that. And
yeah, maybe another thing, metrics has not to be perfect, because perfect metrics does not exist. We spend a lot of time trying to find the best metrics, saying, okay, we have to take into account this aspect, and it was a nightmare, because metric was so complex that was not understandable. So simple metrics unperfect. It's not. It's perfect. It's perfect. In fact. So.
Yeah. And here I want just to share with you the purpose of software development. At the T.A.K.E conference, learners say that we have to create positive business impact, and we add high quality and fast, because we believe that positive business impact is more valuable when it is delivered with high quality and fast. And that is the end of the question of the talk. So if you have questions, not hesitate. We have one question on audience tools. So let's try the question. Where can I find slides? We will share that on slide chat or speaker deck.
You can share us with us, the organizer, and the most advanced message we can send it to everyone.
Okay, that is nice. And another question, how do you define a failing delivery with bugs or just aborted delivery? So both.
Oh, everything.
Yes, when we don't succeed to deliver something, it could be sometimes aborted delivery for a bug, it could be failing delivery for us. When we have a problem, it's a fail, and you have to understand why. Things should be really very simple, very smooth at the client side.
And what we try to identify with this matrix was to, okay, it's like you just bought a car, the key doesn't work, it's not normal. You can enter the car, you put the key into the engine, you see that. The engine does not pass, it's not normal, and it has to be wrapped into this kind of matrix. We launch the application, he opens a screen, the screen doesn't open. It's also part of this thing. Yes. So we put a time frame, because we can't say, okay, we wait 6 months to see that everything is okay, but I don't remember, but I think it's 1 week.
And ask your manager to have some free time to that. For example, in our project, we have 3 weeks before the delivery to just, we call that the freeze code, and everyone in the society try to work and to find bugs. So that is the end. Tomorrow I'm working on the pair programming. I'm just, I will be alone because I will be more, I will have more freedom to talk about all the stuff I don't like in the pair programming, so don't hesitate to come to my presentation tomorrow. And for this talk, if you have any feedback, don't hesitate to put that on the door. We are looking for feedback, negative feedback, like positive feedback. So come and let's discuss about this subject because it's very important for